As defined by Urban Dictionary, a sugar baby is a young female or male who is financially pampered, cared for by a sugar daddy or sugar mama in exchange for companionship. This companionship may include sexual favors depending on the consensual agreement between parties. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wendy and this is the Wendy Edit. And in this video, I thought we'd have a look at some stories from sugar babies. This video is in no way to shame anybody for their choices. All that matters is what you're doing is consensual and no one is being harmed. At the end of the day, it's your choice, your life.
My favorite purchase during my time as a sugar baby was this Chanel purse. Sugar daddy lived in Austin, so he flew me out to hang out for the weekend. He was really cool. We had a great time. Saturday night, we went to see comedy, and then we ended up going to the strip club with a group of his friends. I stayed at the strip club for like 2 hours, but then I wanted to go home. I was tired. He stayed all night long. The next morning, he felt so bad. He gave me his credit card to go shopping. He gave me a very generous budget. I made my way to Neiman Marcus, and I walked out with this.
That's definitely a beautiful purse, but is it worth what you might have had to do for it?
When I was a young girl, I would always say, oh, I want a sugar daddy. I want a sugar daddy that doesn't want anything from me but a hug and a kiss on the forehead. And I would say it and say it and say it. And that was even before I knew what manifesting even was. And then when I was about 18, I got one that didn't want anything from me but that. He had a foot fetish, so I would rub my feet on his face, and it just was crazy. He was very supportive, he did my laundry and bought me things and all those things, right? And this went on for several years. He helped me with college, all the things, right? But you don't realize how having a support system like that can affect you in the long term. So I like to think about it as somebody with a trust fund, right? Or their parents gave them everything. You come to a point where you're not as self-sustaining because you've had this security blanket or this help, right? And not to say that I didn't always work hard, in whatever I was doing. I worked as much as I could during college. I have no problem with working. But now I look back and I kind of fucked myself because I couldn't see the bigger picture and how having him in my life would have affected me and my ability to feel like an adult woman who can fully take care of herself.
How true is that?
Hi, I'm Stacy and I've been a sugar baby for 2 years. Currently, I'm working as a financial analyst as a full-time job, and also I'm also taking the part-time study for taking a CFA paper. Actually, I can completely support myself. But for this, I'm thinking that it's quite interesting. Also, the extra money, who doesn't want to be pampered also? My first sugar daddy, is from Hong Kong and 45 years old. We did have a feeling for each other. He asked me whether I want to move to Hong Kong with him. But I'm still have a part-time study, right? I feel sad to call it off, but my current sugar daddy is I'm kind of falling for him actually. Yeah, we did briefly talk about the marriage.
Do your parents know that you are a sugar baby?
They do know there's a guy, but they know as my boyfriend.
The last place you went was Dubai?
Yeah.
Why'd you go there?
Well, I'm going to see my daddy.
Your daddy?
Yeah.
Your real daddy?
My
sugar daddy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When was that trip? How long ago?
1 year ago.
1 year ago. Are you still with your sugar daddy?
No, I don't talk with him anymore.
What happened?
Because he have wife and kid.
If you want to know more that goes on in Dubai, check out my video on Dubai Porta Potty girls. It's wild what people will do for money. I'll leave a link in the description.
I trusted a man on seekingarrangements.com who said that he would give me $5,000 if we went on a date together. And he was like, I want you to get all done up for the date. I want you to get your lashes done. I want you to get your toes done. I want you to get this laundry. I want you to get all this girl shit.
We don't do that unless you get the money up front.
I know, everyone tells me that. They're like, you're supposed to get the money first. I was like, I'm a trusting person. Here I am spending all this thinking he's going to pay me back, and then we don't even go on the date. So there I am with more credit card debt than I knew what to do with, and I just started dissociating more. Because look, there I was again, relying
Do you
on
feel
someone
you
else to
owe it
support
back?
me. It's kind of like with the student loans. I don't want to pay it back.
I don't think anyone wants to pay
Student
debt.
loans, I don't want to pay that back.
Are you? Are you going to?
Right now, I think I'm on forbearance because I make so little money.
Here's another lesson for us. If you're gonna get a sugar daddy, make sure he pays you up front to do these things. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. Just don't spend your own money.
Hey guys, this video is gonna be a little different, but I feel like it really needs to be heard, so today I'm gonna tell you guys a sugar baby horror story. This took place back in 2016 and has to do with one of the girls I became really close with while doing my research. I'm just gonna call her Kat for the video. So I was in a group chat with Kat and a few other sugar babies, and we'd always keep tabs on each other. If one girl is out on a date, there's an emoji that you send if you're in trouble, and then someone will need to call you and check your location. And that's a good tip for anyone who's still gonna sugar after this video. Anyways, Kat was a vet. Like, she'd been sugaring for 4 years. She knew what she was doing. She told us she screened this guy. They apparently had Skyped multiple times. And finally, he buys her a ticket to get her out to Dubai so they can meet in person. We got a text that she landed in Dubai. And 20 minutes later, we got that emoji. We all called, we all checked her location, but her location went offline. And to this day, we don't know what happened to her.
If this story is true, it's super sad and super scary. And again, Dubai. A lot of people in the comments had asked for the information so they can share on their social media so people can be on the lookout for her. I don't know if there was anything that came from that.
Sometimes I feel like being a sex worker is so unserious. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about a date I went on with this super old sugar daddy, okay? So he decided that he wanted to go to a steakhouse, and I was like, cool, perfect, fine. I meet up with him there. First things first, he decides to tell me how much I remind him of his daughter. Ding ding, creepy red flag number one. But not the creepiest thing I've heard on these types of dates. So anyway, as we're ordering, he's like setting all his bills out, like on the table, and he's like, oh, this one's for my heartburn. This one's because I'm gonna have a lot of steak. This one is my nighttime meds. And I'm like, of course. Why wouldn't you pull these out, you very old man, on a date where everybody's already staring at us because the age difference is very obvious. And then anyway, we eat dinner. I'm kind of trying to find some similar interests to talk to this guy about. I ended up kind of talking about theater, which thank God I had that because I'm into Broadway and he was very into Broadway. Anyway, then we decide to order dessert and he lays out even more pills because he's like, oh, I gotta take this because I'm lactose intolerant. You know how that goes. And I'm like, I don't know why I went to a country voice. It was trying to be an old man. Anyway, carrying on. Then we get out to his car because he had to drop me off to where my car was, and then that's where he was gonna pay me and blah, blah, blah. And when we got in the... I had never made out with somebody that had dentures until that very day. And he also decided it would be appropriate to just those out before making out with this man.
Okay then.
Last time I was in LA, I went to Earth Cafe in West Hollywood, and I saw this guy who had been my sugar daddy outside standing in line. We had gotten along really well while I lived there. The only reason it ended is because I moved. I was really excited to see him, so I walked up to say hi. But when he saw me walking up, he turned as white as a ghost. And at that exact moment, a woman came back to him with a glass of water, and she was obviously his wife. While we were seeing each other, he had failed to mention that he was married. At this point, it was too late for me to walk away. So he tried to play it cool, and he introduced me to his wife as if we were just casual acquaintances. But then she was like, oh, how do you guys know each other? So he told her that the summer before I had temped at his firm. I went along with it, but thank God she didn't ask any more questions. Because obviously I don't know shit about the law.
Into Gucci, I'll always remember he brought me into Gucci and he was like, pick anything you want. And guys, I left with a belt. Like, come on.
Okay.
You know what I mean though? Because that's just like,
that's the one thing you probably could have got yourself.
No, literally.
I get asked this question a lot. I was 18 when I began sugaring. I met this very lovely gentleman, Lebanese. At that time, I didn't know what sugaring was. I didn't even know it was a thing. He used to take me out to restaurants. He wanted to take care of my schooling. Before him, I didn't know how to be treated like a lady. He would not sit before pulling out my seat. He would not let the waiter give him the menu before he gave me. And quite frankly, it was wonderful. After him, he left the country and I took a break at 19 to focus on other things. I wanted to see what I was capable of. I learned financial strategies, I learned seductive techniques, and then I started practicing it. I picked back up again at the age of 20. I became a sugar baby again because at this point I felt more equipped. I knew exactly what I was looking for. I knew exactly what I wanted. Hell, I knew what being a sugar baby was. I didn't even know what that was before. By the age of 21, I pretty much failed a lot because I was too nice. Not nice, but I was really sympathetic. And I needed to get rid of my sympathy. Anyway, by the age of 22 was when I got my shit together. When everything was going smoothly, I knew how to command the room. I knew how to invest, I knew how to save, I had my own money. And that's when I pretty much stopped classifying myself as a sugar baby and more of a gold digger because I started going for wealthy men, not just on the sugar baby side, but any relationship I was entering, it needed to be financially beneficial to me. What people don't understand is that my priorities were different. After having the first sugar daddy and realized how easy it was for me to get money, I realized that wasting all of my sugar baby experience on shopping just to show other girls that I have a car was kind of a very low goal. So between the ages of 20 and 21, I was working tunnel vision with my sugar daddy's money to create what I called a future for myself. And pretty much after that could just enjoy my life. And being a gold digger from a place where you already have some form of money is the most powerful one can ever be. It makes you more fearless in what you want and not afraid to demand it. So go get your generous rich man.
While looking for TikToks for sugar daddy stories, I came across something else that I didn't know about. So cash pigs, pay pigs, findom, that's what they call themselves. Basically, people will pay you so you can humiliate them.
Do y'all know about cash pigs and findoms and shit? I've just been learning about that this week. There are people, apparently, who will pay you money to be mean to them and to demand that they give you money. I was born to do this.
Is this not just what a dominatrix does?
A couple of years ago, I lived up north and I was contacted on social media from some guy who immediately wanted to send me money to humiliate him. And at first I was very skeptical because, a lot of people will message you and a lot of them are scams. But I told him hey, if you're serious, send me this much money. And he sent it. And I was still very, skeptical about it. So I gave him a couple more things to do to prove he was legit. And he was legit. So when it was time to meet up with him, I did meet up with him and I met up with him in a public place. And I recorded the interactions and I've always had somebody with me. If I did not have anyone with me when I met up with him, I always met up with him again in a mall, a parking lot, a store, something like that. This man would pay me anywhere between $100 to $300-$400 to humiliate him. This included physical, how do I say this? This included physical things he wanted me to humiliate him. We're gonna start there, right? So he wanted me to do things that made him feel less than, but he got a rise out of it when I did it in front of people. So that's where having someone with me became a plus because he wanted me to make them laugh at him. He wanted me to have him on all fours with a leash.
I'd be way too embarrassed to be walking someone on a leash out in public. I'm glad though that she brought a friend. Safety first, that's all that matters. While this does seem to be an easy way to make some extra money, I just wouldn't be good at it because I do not have a demanding voice. Plus, I'm also Canadian, so I'd probably apologize after every mean thing I said. And that is it for this video. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts on sugar babies and pay pigs. If you would do it, have you done it? Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe and have a wonderful day.